Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is November 3rd, 2020, Election Day.
And Victory Tuesday.
Victory Tuesday.
Yeah.
What is up with that? Talk about having the sweats.
Whoa. Yeah.
It should not have gone that way.
I know. I was expecting a blowout, but that's the problem with football math is that you look at it on paper and you're like, oh, we're going to destroy these people. And then it turns out to be a close game.
Yes. Don't know what was up with that, but that is not the New York Giants team we have seen on film all year long. They brought their A game, I think.
Well, and we were talking about last night that when you're a good team playing a below average team like the Giants are, you don't always necessarily bring your A game. But then when you are a below average team playing a really good team, you do.
Yeah.
And so it's like we brought our C game, they brought their A plus game, and it turned into a competition when it shouldn't have been.
We'll go with that. That's good enough excuse as any. You know, I was really impressed with their offensive line. And they just played a really physical game. They were blocking really well on both blocking and tackling.
My impression is that their defense was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, that too. Their quarterbacks were knocking balls out of the
air
left and
their
right.
secondary
But you know,
was
Brady wasn't that sharp.
No, he was really inaccurate.
For Brady, yeah, he was very inaccurate.
And then add into that, you know, a decent secondary who's good in coverage, and that's what happens. You go 28 for 40.
Is that what he went, 28 for 40?
Yes. For 279 yards.
Good Lord. He threw the ball 40 times and only got 200 some yards.
He had a quarterback rating of 81.6 and a passer rating of 106.1. So not terrible.
Wait a minute.
No interceptions. I don't know. Like one's weighted and one's not. Like one of them
includes his running or something? His rushing?
No, they take into account like if it's a third down. I don't know. They take game factors and football math basically. They weight some stuff differently depending on other extenuating factors in the play. So anyway, he didn't do that bad. There were no interceptions. He had 2 touchdowns, so I'm not complaining. 2 sacks for 16 yards. So that was kind of a shock, too, that their defensive line, I mean, they were getting some pressure.
And you said his rating was 106?
Yeah.
So that means Daniel Jones's was 74.8.
Is that just off the top of your head?
No, not at all. Golden Tate had better rating than anybody.
I know.
119.
He only had 1. It was like that trick play.
Yeah. That's what they had to do a lot of trick plays on.
That guy. That linebacker, Blake Martinez, he really showed up, I thought. I thought like he was all over the field for them. He had 9 tackles, 1 TFL. I thought he did a little bit better than that. My impression from the game.
Gosh, why was that game so close? I mean, 23-24, right? No, wait.
23-25.
23-25.
They missed that extra point, or the 2-point conversion, by the grace of God. Well,
yes.
No, by Antoine Winfield interfere. Okay, I'm sorry, that was pass interference. There's no question. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how it's an argument. Like, he had his arms draped across the receiver's arms before the ball even got there. And the receiver, he really needed to come back. Like Daniel Jones kind of threw it behind him and the receiver needed to come back, but Antoine Winfield was in the way also. So,
I have never given a ref crew higher than a C rating, but I'm giving Brad Rogers' ref crew a C+ rating.
Why is that, Ralph?
Because we finally got calls that went in our direction. I'm with you. I think it definitely should have been pass interference. I stopped it frame by frame and looked at it, and he definitely hit that receiver before the ball hit him.
I mean, I don't even understand how it's a debate.
Yes, that's kind of how I felt too. I was like, oh, he
interference.
definitely. And then they were like, no.
No call.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And for once, I was not mad at the ref. I was like,
That's
okay,
what
I'll
I
take
said.
it. You know,
Ralph's going to give them a B-.
I was going to give them a B-. We discussed that last night. I was so happy about it. But then I was like, I just can't do it. Can't give.
But I think C+ is the same as a B-.
Yeah, football math at the same time.
But there were 2 other calls that we got that sustained drives that were total BS, I thought. So I think if we're going to give this game to anybody, we should give it to the refs.
Yes, probably.
They deserve a game ball.
The refs a game ball. That's like blasphemy.
I know.
Oh, man. But, I'll take it any way we can take it because we came out there. The first drive, we did okay. We marched down the field rather confidently, but we got a field goal. We should have had touchdown. We're the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. We should have been just stomping them the whole way. And then they came out and pretty much did the same thing. I was like, whoa, hold on. And then I'm like, okay, the first quarter our defense is just like the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. The first quarter we kind of spot you the first quarter. Mm-hmm. We'll give you how many points you can get in the first quarter. That's what you're going to get for the rest of the game. And, so I wasn't too worried about it. And then the second quarter, same thing happened. And I was like, uh-oh. It just seemed like they really played a good game, I thought. They were very physical. And, like I said, their offensive line was blocking great. They ran on us pretty good. What was their running total?
101 yards.
Oh, the bastards.
They had 4 different rushers. So Wayne Gallman had 12 carries for 44 yards. Alfred Morris had 8 for 28 yards. And then Daniel Jones had 3 for 20 yards. He had a 15-yard long. And Gallman had a 17-yard long. And then Evan Ingram had 1 carry for 9 yards. So they had a 100-yard game collectively. No one on the team actually broke 50 yards, though. So.
Right. Yeah, it was really Jones with he had a 6.7 average run. They ran 24 times and had 101 yards at 4.2 yards per carry. We had the same amount of attempts at 24. We had 81 yards at 3.4 yards per carry. Tom Brady got us -1 yards one time.
Way to go,
with
Tom.
his one rush.
I know. Don't do that. What do you think about Rojo getting benched?
I saw it coming. Last week when he fumbled or dropped that pass, which if you watch my video of things I found interesting, you can see he wasn't the only one that screwed up on that play, man. Everybody screwed up on that play. That was a Keystone
one
Cops
of those
play.
plays.
Yeah. But Bruce Arians said that they didn't bench him for that. It's just the way, they were going to alternate.
I just don't believe him.
The running backs. Mm-mm. But as soon as he fumbled that ball, I was like, oh, and now Fournette is nipping at his toes or his heels.
I know.
They want Fournette in there. They like Ronald Jones. He's a great guy, but Fournette's just that little bit much better. And how hard it's kind of like when you're playing fantasy football and you've got the choice between playing, your stud or a guy that, is going to consistently get you 15 points. You got a guy who, he could pop off some stuff. That. And then you got this other guy that, he's going to get you 15 points. So you're constantly going, man, I really want to put this guy in here. But, that's how they are with Leonard Fournette. I think they really want him to be more involved in the game. And Jones has given him reasons to put him in.
But he wasn't when Fournette was injured. Like, he was a stud when Fournette was injured and not nipping on his toes. And, I think for a lot of guys in the league, like, the competition helps. Mm-hmm. But I think there are some of those that it does not. Like, they feel a guy breathing down their neck trying to take their job, and it gets in their head, and they screw up more. And I think Rojo is one of those guys because he did not have these issues when Fournette was hurt.
Yeah, and, well, you also got to consider the teams we were playing. We played Chicago. Had not that great tackling and, easy to run up the middle. And then I think it was the Chargers. Was it the Chargers? Okay. I can't remember. But, 2 teams that running up the middle wasn't very that difficult on them. So, the defense might have had be a contributing factor in Rojo's.
I guess so, but I mean the number of carries and just how productive he was with them. I don't know. To me, I get both sides, but
It's hard,
I think they're doing Rojo a disservice,
right?
With this running back by committee,
and it kind of makes it tough for other players to go. Why even play hard if you're just going to get replaced?
Yeah,
or not replaced, but you're going to lose snaps. They seem to be doing this whole couple series with one running back, couple series with the next running back, couple series with one. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm very happy with both running backs we got. I think Fournette is the better running back. I wouldn't have said that, until I watched game film on him. And he's just, and I think Ronald Jones has learned so much from Fournette. He's played, his style is so much more different now than it has been the past few years. And it's very similar to Fournette. And Fournette is so good at doing what he's supposed to do. Following his blockers, looking at cues, and
Fournette keeps tweeting stuff that's really kind of cryptic, but kind of not. He said that he realized that the coaches were looking out for him by not playing him before he was fully recovered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he tweeted about that, and then today he tweeted to Shady and was like, thank God for Shady for holding me down when I wasn't playing, stuff like that. And it's just like a little bit of drama. I feel like he's a little bit of a drama. I'm not a big fan of airing stuff on Twitter, like good or bad. And this was kind of good because he's like praising his teammate, but at the same time, it's like if you'll put that on there, you're going to put other stuff on there too, probably.
Makes you nervous.
Yeah, a little bit. Like what happens, and if he's having to kind of project that, oh, I'm okay with this, I'm okay that I wasn't playing, you're like, okay, like nobody thought you weren't, so why are you saying that?
Yeah, it's
just something I kind of want to watch.
Yes,
not sure about.
Well, he had kind of some personal issues with Jacksonville,
right?
So,
right,
yeah,
which we had talked
and
about.
Great, and then we got Antonio Brown coming in, so that's just it. Things better go right at Tampa. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Okay, I want to go through. You always ask this before you do your analysis. So I want to talk about I took a little bit of notes during the game. So I want to talk about my impression during the game, and then we'll see in your game analysis how it stacks up.
Okay. Do you have that written down? So I can...
do. Okay. Yeah. So my first thought was that Brady seemed really inaccurate. Mm-hmm. Like he kept overthrowing. I'm surprised none of those were picked. Thank God he, is that kind of, when he's inaccurate, it's not a pick six.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Right.
But I wonder if they were cold. It was cold up there.
Tom Brady's used to playing in the cold.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy probably hasn't felt his hands in 30 years.
The hand warmer, he didn't have one of those on.
Right. We talked about that game. I was like, he needs to put his hand warmer on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I counted 6 bad passes by him. Or not bad passes, but inaccurate passes.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about inaccurate for Tom Brady, we're talking about somebody has to jump up.
Yeah, some
lift their arms over their
overthrows.
head. It's not right in their stomach.
Oh, I liked Jaden Mickens. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, it seems like they picked him to be the top receiver this week.
But he wasn't.
Yeah, well, they tried. They tried to get him. Well, he got the most targets.
Yeah, he had
8 targets.
8 targets.
Mike Evans had 7. So they're mixing it up a little bit.
I told you that might happen, guys.
Yeah. He only had 55 yards, though. 1 touchdown. I'm happy about that. Oh, yeah, I played all Buccaneers in my fantasy football except for 1 running back because I didn't have I've got Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones, and I played Fournette in my flex. And I ended up winning.
Yay.
By
like
barely,
2 points.
By 2
barely.
points. And I won because my opponent
sucks.
Did not play well, yes.
Okay, my next thought was that...
Oh, and I picked the Buccaneers as my survivor this week, too. I went in all this week. I went all. I was not playing around. I put my money where my mouth was at.
Ooh, we were cutting this one close. We cut this one close.
I was like, Tuesday's going to be really depressing for me if this falls through.
Yeah, I know. My next thought was that Vita Vea, we were really missing him up the middle.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah, our defense is not getting near the push up the middle that it was, and our running game defense is looking a little bit more suspect. I think we might fall down a little bit in the rankings, or at least our huge gap. What we were allowing 66 yards per game with Vita when he got hurt. I think now we're up to 72 or something. So something, we'll see. It'll probably inch up a little bit.
I thought Whitehead had a good game. I saw him quite a few. He did have 7 tackles, 4 solo, and a TFL. So interested to see how he looks on the game film. Oh, Shaq Barrett. They need to make this a stat, a forced interception. Because both interceptions that we got, Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting, Shaq Barrett had Daniel Jones in his grasp both of those plays.
Yeah, he had him by the jersey and yanked him both times when he was throwing.
And it was Shaq both times, so he should really get credit for those.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be interesting to look on the All-22 and see how our defensive line played. It looked to me like we were getting pressure on him, but not that overwhelming pressure, I want to say. But that's just us being greedy. I mean,
I know.
I want the quarterback to get sacked every play. I want an interception every time he throws the ball. I want kick returns for every time they. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you don't get all that, you're like, oh man, we suck.
And if they have any positives, the opponent, you're like, oh
yeah, right, yeah.
I just wanted.
He ran for 17 yards. Are you crapping me?
Hey, JPP did have a good game. He showed up on the stat sheet, so we'll see what happens on the game film. But he had 7 total tackles, 5 solo, a sack, 2 TFLs, and a quarterback hit.
All right.
So
he was talking some smack before the game.
I know.
I wanted to get that audio. That was an excellent interview or press conference.
I know.
If y'all haven't got a chance, go look at the press conference that JPP did before the Giants game. He was it was very lively. He's a good guy, man. I like him.
Yeah, I do too. Sue had 5 quarterback hits this game. He had 2 tackles, 1 solo, a sack, a TFL, and 5 quarterback hits. He accounted for half of our hits.
Wow. How'd Golston do? He looked like he was out there playing hard.
Oh, here we go. Okay. 3 tackles, 2 solo, and a pass defensed.
Okay.
Not bad for a defensive lineman.
Nacho, he get any stats?
No, he had 1 tackle.
What about McClendon? 1
tackle, 1 solo.
Yeah, he wasn't out there that much. McClendon, he got he won 40 snaps. Matter of fact, he got more than Nacho. Nacho got 32 snaps. Nacho got 43% of the defensive snaps, and McClendon got 54%. That's interesting. We had 5 defensive players played all 74 defensive snaps. Jamal Dean, Devin White, Winfield, David, and Davis. Now, normally, Levante David and Devin White get 100% of the defensive snaps, but it's interesting to see that we had 2 cornerbacks and a safety that got 100% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, Mike Edwards, he got 20 snaps. He got 27%.
Oh, good for him. It was interesting. I think that Jamel Dean, they've had him starting, and they had Sean Murphy-Bunting in the nickel. I think someone tweeted that. I think that's where I got that.
Yeah. That's how it's been all year.
Oh, it is?
Well,
I thought Jamel Dean wasn't starting.
Right. They'd said he wasn't going to be the starter, but he's been the starter. I mean, he's been playing that right cornerback position just about every game. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Our whole offensive line, of course, played 100% of the snaps. No injuries there, thank goodness. Mike Evans was out there for 90% of the defensive or offensive snaps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only got 55 yards.
So.
Not thrilled with that.
You are not thrilled with he only got 55 yards?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. With our cornerbacks covering him, we're covering him great.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady doesn't throw it the way Winston used to, where, Winston would throw it to where Evans would have to really jump high and he'd fight for the ball and all that good stuff. Tom Brady throws it where Evans doesn't have to do a whole lot, and that gives the cornerbacks the ability to smack the ball down. I wonder about that with Brady, if he's going to get with Evans where he'll start doing that, throwing these 50-50 balls more often.
I don't know. I think when we get Antonio Brown in there, I think it's going to be over. Yeah, I think that he's going to get a lot of targets.
It's going to be interesting to see, man. I really want to see if he's going to be doing kick returns. That's like the most exciting thing.
I don't know. Like Jaden Mickens did pretty good this time.
Yeah,
No. Listen, you say that. You were not thrilled with him during the game, but if you look at the yardage that he got, he had on a kick return, he had 79 total yards. His long was 28. He averaged 26.
Yeah, I know, but to see what the kickoff, when you catch the ball in the end zone and you run out to the 23, you get 23 yards. But in reality, if you would have just kneeled in the end zone, you actually lost us 2 yards. That's how I look at it. If you don't get past the 25-yard line, you've lost us yardage.
But you never know unless you try.
Well, this is true, but he doesn't get that. I don't know. He just doesn't have the oomph that's needed back there. I mean, you got to be like a rocket and just go. He dances around too much, or tries to be, and plus he doesn't pick good holes. I'll watch him on the tape, and I'll be like, oh, this would be really nice if he runs. Why is he running that away? If he run left, but he likes to run like towards people. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Everybody is a critic.
This is true.
I'm kind of with you because I get nervous when they run it out, and I'm like, oh crap, do not fumble it here, please.
Yeah.
Please, God.
Yeah. It's our weakness, our specialty, our kicks and punt.
Yeah, he didn't have any punt returns. So you might have a point there.
I'm just saying it'll be interesting to see Antonio Brown back there. Now that guy, he blazes and he cuts good and he picks holes. So, it'll just be interesting to see if we even use him at that.
As far as penalties go, we did really good. We were 3 for 20 to their 7 for 73.
3 for 20?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what was it? 4 weeks ago, everybody was in the trauma center because we were the number one penalized team in the league. Right?
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at now. We've got to be way down the list.
Okay, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
That we are 19th.
Really? Damn, we fell that much? We are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th.
Damn it.
7th.
For penalties?
Yep. We got 49.
Eh.
Chicago's number one spot with 58.
In your face, Chicago.
But then there's Kansas City is right behind us with 48. We got 49, they got 48.
So we're in good company.
Yeah, well, Buffalo's up there at 53. Arizona's got 55. It's I know. I hate penalties. I hate them. I really do. If it was up to me, we would get rid of at least half the penalties in the playbook. I think there's way too many penalties, and we keep adding every year. And I really do. I hate penalties. I hate them when they're committed. I just hate them. I hate them. I wish I like the way we've been playing where there's no penalties. But at the same time, I think people put too much into, teams being penalized, where they're ranked on that. Because, penalties, like everything in football, penalties are not equal. They're not all the same. One penalty drive stoppers or fourth down penalties or end of the game penalties are totally different than penalties during kneel downs, penalties during kickoffs, crap like that. So, again, it's another thing with stats. You get freaked out over penalties and for no reason. Let's look at who's at the bottom. New England is the best in the league.
Oh, I bet that's taken them real far.
And Houston's next.
Oh God.
New England's only got 20 penalties on the year. Dang.
So one redeeming quality,
I guess. So good for us for keeping the penalties down. And it's really the penalties at crucial times that really, the ones that sustain drives for the other team or end your drives. Those are the ones that really hate. But we haven't been doing that since.
We've really cleaned it up, I think.
Since the Chicago game, I think, was when we were fighting with them to see who was going to have the most penalties. Yeah, Tom Brady and Daniel Jones's stats are very similar.
I know. I noticed that too. Daniel Jones was sacked 3 times for 18 yards. Tom Brady 2 for 16 yards. Although Daniel Jones had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tom Brady had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So in your face.
Hey, there you go. And again, we talk about stats here on the podcast intermittently, but the only stat that matters is the win-loss column, and there are no asterisks on that thing. So we got this win.
I know.
Even if Jones would have played better than Brady, it don't matter. We got this win.
And it feels like to me like this kind of game, we played this kind of game with them last year and we lost.
Yeah.
And
this kind of game we would have lost 50 out of 51 times in the past 10 years.
Exactly. So
now we're winning these games. I mean, we technically, we didn't really play that good. We could have easily lost this game, but we won it.
Squeaked it out, which I'm totally fine with. And now we're 6-2.
6-2, yo.
Leading the division, is that right?
Yeah. Yes. And this is the first time we've been 6-2 since the Super Bowl year, 2002.
Yeah, I know.
Man, portending of things to come. What?
And I am not mad about this loss. This win. I think it very easily could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy it didn't. And, hats off to the Giants who really did play a competitive, good game and held their own.
Shocked the mess out of me.
Me too.
Their offensive line is what really shocked the mess out of me the most. I was like, whoa, how are they? And, the run game, they were doing great blocking.
Yeah. For me, it was the secondary. Their secondary really surprised me, caught me off guard.
Yeah. Our secondary did well, too.
Yeah.
Got some INTs. SMB got one, and was it Carlton Davis?
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody almost had one. Bounced right out of their hands. Can't remember who it was. Yeah, I took some notes. Here's what happened, guys. We found my Yingling chocolate beer. seasonal beer. Somebody's been telling me about it. I'm a Yingling drinker, so they were like, oh, man, you got to check out this chocolate beer. And there was only one place in the whole city that had it. It was, 20 minutes away. I ain't going to drive all the way out there. So we went to the grocery store yesterday, and I'm walking around, and Molly points out that there was a box. There's 3 boxes stacked over like
to the side, like they were stocking them or something.
Yeah, like they were stocking them, but there wasn't any place for them in the beer. So she was like, open it up. I opened it up, and sure enough, it was a chocolate beer, so I grabbed one. This stuff was good. It wasn't too sweet either. My point being, I drank a lot of beer. Some of my notes, kind of hard to read. I didn't take a whole lot of notes either because, like we said, we like to sit and watch the game as fans.
I used to do like a whole spreadsheet
and
table.
You would have your laptop out.
And it was just too much. It was too much. You can't experience the game.
Yeah, because I like to jump up and down, act stupid, and clap, and get my daughter and swing her around, or kick my puppy if we have bad plays. So it's hard for me to like sit and take notes. I couldn't be in the press box. We had talked about that with the Pewtercast guys. They just couldn't do it. And so notes are very sparse. And Molly covered most of the stuff that I was going to say, but I did have a couple things I want to point out. in the first quarter, right around 12:15, was Tristan Wirfs on the left side.
It looked like he did like a pull. I don't know what this is called. It looked like it made me think of a stunt like the defensive line does, but the offensive line didn't.
Well, I
don't know.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah.
Somehow he was way over on the left-hand side. And I didn't pay attention until after the ball was snapped, and then I was like, what in the world is Wirfs doing over there? So I don't know if he pulled it away. That's going to be interesting to look into. A lot of stuff I want to look at in the All-22. Brady did have some bad passes. Did you notice, even on the one where Ronald Jones fumbled, Ronald Jones had to keep going down to his knees to catch Tom Brady's passes. Mm-hmm. Very strange. Very strange. I mean, Tom Brady's a very accurate passer. I mean, he's up there with Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe it was the ball pressure. Like, he's used to them being more deflated.
No, you didn't. Oh, my gosh. I hope he's not listening to this podcast because he will come over here and beat us both up. So
you'll have to defend my honor.
That's Tom Brady. I ain't hitting him. He's got to take my team to the Super Bowl. I will let him beat you down. No, here's what I'll do. I'll give him a stick because I don't want him to hurt his hand.
Your hard face, stick, Molly.
Huh?
On your hard face.
You have to take one for the team, man. Yeah, I counted 6 bad passes by Brady. Inaccurate passes that were, extremely difficult for the receivers to catch. Again, losing Vea really hurt us. Did you look at my notes when you were doing this?
No, I think you copied me.
Ronald Jones, he had his fumble in the first quarter. He didn't come back until the third quarter. So, like I said, they're alternating the running backs, it seems like. Cutter did that. Drove me crazy.
I hate that because running backs take a while to warm up.
They do.
You gotta let them warm up.
Most running backs get better at, and it's a lot with, the defense getting tired, but, running backs will seem to get their second wind, third wind, towards the end of games and just start mauling people. And if you don't let them get in that rhythm, you don't get those special plays at the end of the game that we'd all love to see. Let me see. I can't even read my handwriting. Oh, the Giants were good in coverage. Yes. Okay. We didn't take the lead until late in the third quarter. We got up 15-14.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's surprising. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it was a way tighter game than it should have been.
Way tighter.
But I never lost confidence. I always felt like we were going to come back.
Well, it wasn't like we were playing crappy football. It was not like we were out there just, looking like. I mean, we had our first 3 and out happened in the beginning of the fourth quarter. That was our first 3 and out.
Wow.
Our offense was doing pretty good. Our defense was doing pretty good. It's just we weren't being outstanding like we're used to seeing the past few weeks. And then the last note I have was to send presents to the referees. A gift bag or something.
Because that game was a gift to Bucks fans.
Yeah. Well, even if he would have caught that, they would have tied the game up. When it went to overtime, we would have just embarrassed them there.
Right. Hopefully.
That's how my world operates. So, Giants fans, hey, man, hold your head up. You played a good game against the best team in the NFL.
And frankly, they're not even out of it in their division. They're 1-7, but they're only
Yeah, I'm serious. They're the best. That was the best NFC performance I've seen all year. NFC East performance.
Yeah.
Because those teams are playing horrible.
They're so bad.
I was talking to my neighbor. And we were talking about the Giants game. And he was like, yeah, y'all are going to beat the Giants. And I said, we better. That division is horrible. I said, I watched the, Dallas-Philadelphia game? Was that Sunday night?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the Philadelphia Giants game Thursday night. I mean, those were just horrible, horrible games, but they were so entertaining to watch because it was kind of like watching two teams of stooges playing. There's always some interesting stuff going to happen. I mean, it wasn't going to be good football, but it was going to be interesting. And they were very entertaining games. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sure not if you're a fan of one of those teams. It was not entertaining.
Well, they should learn to
ugly.
Be a fan of a true team like the Buccaneers.
I know.
We got plenty of room aboard this ship, buddies. Come on and be a scallywag with us. No shame in leaving those crappy teams to be a fan of a real team.
Mm-hmm. You know, we were at the grocery store the other day, and Ralph and I were both decked out in our Bucks gear, and there was a guy that stopped Ralph and asked him if he was a fan because of Brady, and I took a huge exception to that.
You did.
I was got outside. What?
You were like, well, I can't believe that guy asked.
Why would he ask that?
Hey, it's a chance for me to sit there and tell my Buccaneers story and start talking.
I feel like we need to wear like the old gear with the old logo, so people won't think we're just here for Brady. Although I will say I'm going to buy a jersey, and I'm buying a Tom Brady jersey, so maybe I deserve this.
I ain't worried about it. Ain't nothing wrong with being a bandwagon fan. Get on the bandwagon, guys.
I know, but like I just feel like I've put in all the work and the suffering, and I want some fucking credit for it.
Oh, damn. It's
been misery.
Intense about that.
Well, am I wrong, Bucks fans? Come on.
No. But
I've paid my dues.
I feel like if anybody wants to argue with me on my fandom, I'll just have them call up all my family and anybody that knows me. I'll be like, hey, just randomly dial anybody in my contacts list and ask them what my team is and how long it has been. Okay, you call my priest. You call people, anybody within really a line of sight of me, my entire Buccaneers fandom knows. So I could say, okay, not just in somebody in my contacts, just go on Google Maps, look anywhere I've lived or been, and you can see. And they know. Contact the neighbor.
They'll vouch for you.
My car's decked out in Buccaneers stuff. I'm always wearing Buccaneers gear, it seems like. Talking Buccaneers. So, hey. Whatever, man. If you think I'm doing this just because of Tom Brady, yeah, that's your loss. It just shows that, they don't, most people don't know much about the Buccaneers. I started talking to him. I was like, no. I became a fan with Hardy Nickerson and then, Warren Sapp and John Lynch. And the guy was just, his eyes kind of glazed over. Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
He's like, all I know is Tom Brady, man. I watch ESPN.
Yeah, well, like, he is the talking point.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why that would happen.
Yep. So top of the division, we're very happy about that. And it's not like we're there because the rest of the division sucks. I mean, they do. But, the New Orleans are putting up a fight. We get to play them next week.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
At our house. And
Bucks fans, do not sell your tickets to Saints fans.
I know. What is up with that?
For show up. Just saying.
Yeah, let's show up. We're going to have fans there. This will be only the second time, I think, that Buccaneers have played in front of fans. They didn't have fans at Giants Stadium, didn't have fans at Chicago, didn't have fans. So let's go there. And, when we had, was it the Chargers? No, who was it we played? And Green Bay. Yeah, we played Green Bay at Raymond James Stadium when half the fans in there are Packers. I'm like, no, let's not do that anymore. We want for the whole, 20% capacity? Is that what's coming up?
Yeah.
So we want 20% of sea of red.
Exactly.
A pond of red. How about that? Can't get full sea of red, so puddles of red. There we go. Puddles of red.
Puddles of red.
Fill the stadium up. Somebody was talking about, I think it was Mike Evans was saying he really wants to get in front of the fans because the energy's just not there without fans.
Yeah. I'm with him.
I'm not going to lie. I've been very impressed with the production crews and the players themselves because I can't really see a difference in how they're playing with nobody in the stands but cardboard cutouts, and in some cases just nothing, just empty seats, and when it's a packed stadium.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not seeing.
Is really good.
Yeah, and hats off to the broadcast people. They're doing a real good job with making it feel like there's people there and all that. So It hasn't been the total disaster it seemed like it was going to be. It's what a crap thing to do when we were having such a special year.
I know. The universe hates us.
It seems that way. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'll punch the universe in the face.
That's right.
So.
Or Tom Brady will.
That's right. Just don't hurt your hand, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him with the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
So the Saints next week, and that's going to be a doozy. This is going to be a
And
fight.
it's on Sunday Night Football.
Ooh,
I
good.
know.
Hopefully, as long as
they
nobody
don't-
comes down with
As
COVID.
long as the third offensive line that we faced in 3 weeks does not get COVID.
Right. I saw a bunch of
Just saying.
teams are going through protocols today because of players testing positive and whatnot. Yeah, just stay indoors, eat a bunch of Twinkies, Saints players.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from each other.
Mhm.
Don't even practice this week.
I know.
It's not worth
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Don't risk it.
Don't risk it for that biscuit.
That's
It's
right.
just a biscuit.
That's right.
So we want to see the Saints get the mess beat out of them. I wonder if they're going to have Michael Thomas.
I don't know. It's a good question.
You should know. You got him in fantasy.
I don't pay attention to it.
You have been so slack this year.
Hey, listen, I got to win this week, so.
Yeah,
leave me
you
alone.
do.
Barely.
Hey, she beat my nemesis.
I did.
She beat my nemesis this week. Totally stomped him, beat him by 50 points.
I know.
And,
Awesome.
I
I
let
paid
my wife take
no
my-
attention to it like all week until like an hour before kickoff on Sunday. And then I realized, oh crap, I have like 3 players inactive. So I'm like scrambling. I've not been active on the waiver wire, like nothing. And it just, I'm amazing at this because I scored 170 points with some
Hey,
scrubs.
I'm proud of my team. I've been playing my Buccaneers team all year, and I'm 2-6, 2-5, something like that. I've only won 2 games, but we're getting there. I can feel it coming.
It's coming.
As long as I'm not Sacco, I don't care. This year's a wash, So, it's not a money year. I wouldn't mind getting the ring, but I've got 2 of them anyhow. So this one would be the one with the asterisk next to it. Not worth it.
Well, if I win it, I'll let you wear it sometimes. How about that?
I don't want to wear your girly ring. It'd be nice if you want it.
I
I'd be
know.
very happy if you want it. We've got the All 22. Hopefully will come out tomorrow. I've been checking all day to see if it's come out. And, we're going to do the video. I'm going to try to get through this one quick, man, because I can't go, do it all week like I did last week. And it seems like every week it's, either the videos come out late or I've had stuff getting in the way. And it's just sort of like, So I'm going to have at least one video out tomorrow. It'll probably be a 3-part series again. But I'll have at least one out tomorrow. I'm shooting for 2. So I want to get this all done by, let me see, tomorrow will be Wednesday, but all done by Thursday.
It's a good goal, I think.
I think so too. It's a doable goal too. But then again, I've got so much other stuff to do. Okay, the coach's film is out now. I'm looking at it.
Yay!
Yep, I just went to check it again to see if it was there. All right, so I'm going to get this done, start on it tonight a little bit.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay, you got
All
anything
right.
else going on? You got any news?
Nope. I am ready to start cooking dinner. So let's.
I am ready for you to do it too. We got steaks and I'm hungry. Let me see. Carmen Vitale did tweet out that the Bucs have 65 points off takeaways Takeaways this year, second most in the league. 11 of those takeaways have been interceptions, which ties us for the most. We are number 1 in the league.
Which that was the goal this offseason.
Tampa Bay has recorded at least 1 interception in the last 7 games.
Yeah.
What? That is awesome. Love this secondary. All right. You look like you're ready.
I'm just hungry.
Me too.
It just takes so long to cook too. So.
All right, guys. We'll have the video out tomorrow, part 1, hopefully part 2 as well. We'll have another podcast out Friday. It will be covering the All 22 and also the preview for the Saints game coming up. We'll go through the injury reports and all that good stuff. So we're not going to have 3 podcasts this week. I don't think we've had 3 podcasts in a week in this whole season.
All season.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that, and let's get those good juju vibes out there for the Saints game. so we can embarrass them on Sunday Night Football and secure our lead. I think if we lose against them, we will lose they're one game behind us now, right?
I don't know.
So if we lose to them, it'll tie us up, and then they've got us on the tiebreaker. So we really need this game. It'll be nice to have. But you know what? Until then, guys.
Go Bucks.